Hey guys, stop, 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 stop. Don't click another button. If you're planning to take the May 2026 SAT, we're going to be reviewing a bunch of problems that you potentially could see on the May math portion of the digital SAT. Before we get started, three things. Number one, all of our problems are based on predictions and patterns of past exams within the last year. So please note the disclaimer listed below. Number two, if you're looking for other prediction videos, make sure to check those out for additional practice. You can find out our playlist somewhere at the top right there or somewhere below or at the end of this video. And number three, these problems are strictly based on what students have said or predicted in terms of what they've seen. Please note it could be easy, medium, or hard for you, which is great because you're just getting a head start. Okay, let's get started. So, one of the trends that we do see that are coming in real strong are really convoluted wording when it comes to percentages. So take a moment and tackle this problem. Pause the video if you feel to do so, and try to see what you get as the correct answer. Okay, let's try to tackle this together. First of all, they tell you a couple of things. Notice that they give you two percentages and they tell you increase and decrease. So that's supposed to help you get a little confused in the wording because you're like, oh, great, now I have to worry about if it's increased or decreased. And that's okay. We're going to tackle this together. The other thing is they give you two key percentages. You're leaning between a 5 and a 10. So let's try to take a look at this problem as if they're trying to take a look at decreasing a price from a backpack by 25%. All right, so what does that mean? Well, we bought a product. Let's use an easy number. Let's start off with 100. You could start off with any number because you're just talking about the percent. Because I like to do easy math, I'm going to start off with 100 here. And it says it decreases by 25%. So that's easy. You're only paying $75 for the actual bag, right? Then it increases by 20%. Okay, so if I take 5% and times it by 20, and you want to put it two decimal places to the left. Now, if I do that, you can plug that into Desmos and see that it goes up by $15. But for quick math, I just know that it's $15 or so. So that means that I increased by $15 from that 75. So I want to add these two together. This essentially gives us what? $90. So we started off with 100 and we went down to 90. So how was this discount? Well, first of all, I know that it's a decrease. So I can immediately eliminate anything that says increase. And I know that it's by 10% because there's 100% total, and I just went ahead and decreased it by $10. So then it's a 10% decrease. So the answer is D. So this is a problem or a tip to help you solve percentages when they don't actually give you a value. Start off with $100 or 100 because you're basically easily able to think about how it sways from the original 100. You could pick any number, of course, but this is just a trick to help you solve problems just like this. And this has come up in previous past exams, at least in the past season, where they don't give you an actual value and they expect you to understand whether or not it increases or decreases by a certain percentage. Let's tackle this other problem here. Before we get started, make sure to pause this video and try to attempt to do this question yourself. Okay, so now that you've conducted reviewing the problem and you try to tackle this problem yourself, do you notice a trend here? So in previous past SAT exams for the math portion, there has been more of a focus of utilizing Desmos for a shortcut. However, now you'll notice more problems that are more conceptually based in that we mean You can't just plug this straight into Desmos and get a straightforward answer. You have to tackle the wording of the problem to then solve, and then you could utilize Desmos for its intended purpose, which is for calculations and to help your mathematical algebraic portion of the exam. In previous SATs within the last year, there was more of a focus on Desmos rather than this, and now this year we find a shift in reverse. So just keep that in mind when you are looking at these problems that you're trying to tackle how to read them to set up the correct formula and then solve. Utilizing Desmos should come secondhand, not your first go-to. So what we mean by that is you're talking about a rectangular garden and it tells you it has a length of 7 meters greater than the width. So let's make the width the variable x, and it says that you're trying to make a rectangular garden 7 meters greater than the width. And if you check in the formula sheet, we know that length times width is going to be your area. And the reason why I bring that to your attention is because in the next line, they tell you that the whole garden's area is 120 square meters. So you know that it's 120 square meters, and you know that the width is the variable x. You could use w if you wanted to. I just put x here, and then it says 7 meters greater. So it's confusing because some students might say it is 7 times x, and that isn't what they're saying is the length. They're saying that it's 7 meters greater than the width in terms of the length. So they're technically saying 7 plus W or 7 plus X. Now, noting that, you can go ahead and solve. You can go ahead and distribute the x. So if you distribute the x to both of these, you get 7x plus x squared, then minus 120 because I went ahead and brought the 120 over to the other side, and that gives me 0. So that's the first portion of this problem. Now you can go ahead and plug this straight into Desmos to try to solve and figure out where the problem lies in terms of the x-intercept. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and plug in the formula. You can plug it directly like this into Desmos, and then you're going to see when it crosses the x-intercept. So when you do that, you will find the positive value because remember, when we're talking about length, we're talking about a positive value. So I'm going to share another screen here. So this screen just shows what it would look like if we plug in that equation into Desmos. So as you can see here, if you're taking a look at this, we plug the equation directly in, we set it equal to 0, and I went ahead and tried to solve and see where my x lies. Of course, there's going to be two values of x because it's x squared, but I don't care about the negative value because I'm talking about length, which is a positive value. So my final answer is 8. And if we go back to the question choices that we see here, we do have that value there. And so the correct answer would just be 8. So that's how you notice types of problems where you can utilize Desmos to help you solve, but it isn't the whole highlight of the problem. Instead, you're expected to try to manipulate a equation into a way that you can plug it directly into Desmos and solve. So previously, they probably would have given you x meters less than or x meters times, something that would make the problem a little bit more easier to digest. But because they're trying to focus more on the concept, you could see the wording is a little bit more difficult to then utilize and plug into Desmos. So if they give you some sort of shape and algebraic mixed together, make sure to understand you are trying to digest what the information is provided to you, solve for the equation, and then be able to solve it in. Take a moment, pause the video, and try to tackle the problem that you see here. Okay, let's try to tackle this together. As you can see, they gave you an equation with two variables and they ask you what's the value of g of 3. They're telling you that g of x is the same as g of 3, which means that you have to plug in the value of 3 for all the x values here. So essentially, it's 2 to the third squared plus 4 times 3 minus 1. Make sure that you follow PEMDAS to ensure that you're solving correctly and not depending on the calculator just to solve straight through. Meaning I would break this up to solve it in terms of the brackets and then go from there. So 3 squared is 9 times 2. That's going to be 18. And then plus 4 times 3, which is 12. The reason why I do this is because while this problem might seem easy, in the past, students have placed this all into Desmos and asked it to solve without the parentheses, instead using the times table. And this might give you the incorrect answer because we have to follow PEMDAS. Just note as a disclaimer, this is not the case for this problem, but you want to keep this in mind when practicing problems like this. Of course, bring down the minus 1, addition and subtraction, tackle these two first. So you have 18 plus 12 when minus 1, and this is going to give you 29. So the answer is C. The reminder here is yes, you are plugging the value of 3, but making sure to break it down and solve with PEMDAS, not depending on the calculator to assume that PEMDAS can solve for you.
If today's mission dropped knowledge that actually slaps, smash that like button and boost the signal across the galaxy.
Brand new STEM drops. AP Bio, Chemistry, PSAT, SAT Math. The entire STEM fleet upgraded. Subscribe if you're staying locked in. No drift. No missed launches. And don't sleep on the link tree. That's where the new